Alright, continuing on from The Odd Couple, this time from the movie version. There, this is a film that was introduced by my grandmother. This was a movie that I was actually surprised was a movie. I was even more surprised it was listed as a black comedy, considering I didn't consider it as a black comedy. Maybe my definition of what a black comedy um, really means. But to me, I never really felt this was a movie that it should be listed as a black comedy movie. It is a comedy, don't get me wrong. But a black comedy, I kind of questioned that. This is where I realized that there was more to the Odd Couple than I actually have given credit for, because I only knew it when I was watching the TV show as just that, the TV show. Um, and I didn't realize that there was not only the movie before the TV show, but actually a play was done by Neil Simpson. This was based on his play, and again, there was a whole lot of surprises that came with this series. Now, to point into this, like I said, there are certain things you don't need to follow when it comes to adaptations. The Odd Couple TV series really has nothing to do with the Odd Couple movie, and this is one of the reasons why I say sometimes when something getting adapted, you don't really. It's more easier for it to be adapted to movie to television from rather than television to movie. In this case, you really didn't need to adapt it because it follows its own path. The Odd Couple TV show follows its own path from the movie. And this one, pretty much, the movie has a beginning, a middle, and definitely an ending. Unlike The Odd Couple, where it actually started out, I believe, a year after Felix's divorce, and it pretty much shows how these two best friends live with each other, try to tolerate each other throughout that whole entire time. Um, the movie here does a good job of telling us the story straightforward. You have two great actors, Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, portraying these characters, which became very well known throughout their career. They even sparked the sequel, which was pretty much, I believe, the last time they had worked with each other before their passing. The plot is pretty much simple, as we all know. Felix Unger, he is been kicked out of the house. His marriage is over, and during the beginning, you hear the famous iconic song, which is the only thing linking the Odd Couple movie from the Odd Couple TV show. It is a well-written song, and I really recommend you guys to check it out whenever you got a chance in iTunes, because it's actually a song worth having. It's a very well done, very simple theme throughout the entire movie and the TV show. But in this case, it starts out immediately. We are witnessing the distress that Felix Unger is having. He's even having suicidal thoughts as the credits moves in. We're seeing what he's doing. We're seeing what he's trying to do, and yet he ends up walking right towards his friend, Oscar Madison, who we immediately picks up as a person who is not in need. He's a slob. He's also very hot-tempered, and they're pretty much playing cards. They're having a good time playing cards, and throughout the situation, he gets the phone call informing that his friend marriage is over, and he basically is concerned about him, but he also concerned more about whether or not he had done what was written in the letter. Eventually, Felix has have showed up. He's trying to play a level face, but he ends up breaking down the end, and it's resulted into Oscar pretty much consoling him, trying to cheer him up, and eventually they arrange to possible to live with each other. Things look like everything is going great, but this is where the personalities of Oscar Mayer and Felix come to start to butt heads. From the start, you see Oscar is not a very good person when it comes to neatness. You also see, as the film progresses, how over cleanse. Felix Sander is. He is a neat freak. He just can't help himself. It's not enough that the cars must be clean. They must be sprayed with solution to keep it clean. This basically ruining their poker night. Things really got into a head when they had a double date, and rather not to focus on the double date, he starts breaking down because he still loves his wife. He still wants to be with his wife, and that brought friction between the two characters. One of the most favorable scenes is when you see him have spaghetti, and next thing you know, he just threw it on the wall and said, "Did it much now as garbage." And pretty much the film ended with Felix actually, yeah, he moved out. He didn't get back to his wife. He moved out, especially after he have left. He have left the apartment, but Oscar and the rest of the friends have decided it would best to look for him. Finally, he was okay, and in the end of the film, Oscar pretty much said, "Hey, keep it clean. A friend have just cleaned this," and that's how the film ends. This is a movie that, again, when I first found out about it, was from my grandmother. She was watching it on TV. I didn't know what it was. But then once they said the name, I said, "This can't be it. This can't be The Odd Couple." I knew The Odd Couple from TV series. But when I watched it, I was glad I was, because it was the fun moment, one of the rare moments that I had with my grandmother. We both laughed so hard that we started crying. The other time we actually started laughing hard and started crying was when we was watching Johnny Carson together, one of the few times that we actually did watch Johnny Carson together. So this film has some of a personal sentimental value to me. Years later, I watched it on my own, just me and this film. I watched it, wanted to see how this film would hold up, which is me watching with no influence, no nothing, and it still hold up to this day. I really did enjoy this film, and the real reason why this film works so well isn't really the music, which is a good music, which is a good theme. Isn't much of the fact that it didn't have the action-packed stuff that you would normally see in most comedies today. This film works because you had two veteran actors, two great actors who worked it perfectly together. They worked off their weaknesses, they worked off their strength, and you saw them on the screen. You was automatically convinced that they were best friends, and that you can actually want to know more of what happened to these characters. You really were connected. It was not an unlikable character in this movie, and I really did like the way Walter Matthau played Oscar Madison, Jack Lemmon in terms of Felix Sander. I thought they both played it well, and they both had fun, and I had fun watching them. Plus, the comedic timing was classic. I really thought they did a great job. They couldn't pick two better actors to play the odd couple. Now, the question is, do I compare this to the TV series? I'm afraid I can't. I can't compare this to the TV series. I'm not going to compare it to the TV series because, frankly, the TV series is on its own. It's the same thing should be done with the Odd Couple movie. It is on its own. There's no way you can compare that. However, I will say this: so if you want something that is a little darker, if that's probably why it's black comedy, this one is probably a better way to go, because it is one of those films that is not held back by television. I will say this though, also, the film rating has changed. If it means anything to you, this film was rated G, but you gotta look at the time frame. It was done in the late 60s. I believe this film came out in 1968, 1969, and the rating system wasn't as fully established yet. This film was rated G. It was re-rated as PG. So, again, I still question the black comedy aspect of it. Black comedy means a little bit more to me. I think All the Roses, yeah, that's a black comedy if you want to call it that. Room, I don't know, but this one I never really felt it belonged in that category. I still have problems accepting that was a black comedy. But in any case, the Odd Couple movie is a well-made movie, a well-done film, and you also get a little piece of Manhattan history, because that's how Manhattan was back then. You'd be surprised. You're like looking at it, it's like, hey, it's a little dark. This Manhattan don't look too pretty. Well, You'd be surprised what happened to Manhattan in the '60s. We came a long way, but in any case, this was a huge success. No one thought this film was going to be a success as it was. And here's the thing about this film's budget. If you look at the film's budget to make this movie, it was only $1.2 million. That's how cheap this film was. So they pretty much relied on two things and two things only. Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau to carry this film. And did they carry this film? The film made 44 million. Yes, so they carried this film well. They carried it very, very well. And I can ask for better actors. And sometimes some of the things that is not done with big special effects and all this other stuff, you get the most best gems, and this is one of those films that had, pretty much they clicked at the right time with the cast they had picked in this film. I think the only thing I have a problem with, the only true thing I have a problem with, is the pacing at the beginning, because it took a while to see Oscar Madison. There was a lot of dialogue exchanging, and as for a kid, and even when I saw it the second time, that kind of dialogue I didn't really care about the dialogue that was going on. But once Oscar Madison and Philip Under got together, that's when I started to pay real attention, because they exchanged a lot of stuff that I was very interested in. The comedy timing was great. The situation they put themselves through was great, and to me, that's when the film really spiked. And it never went slow down to any form after that. So, a scale of 1 up to 4, 3.5 stars. It is a film I recommend. As for the play, I can't really say. I haven't seen the play. I know the last play they had made with the Odd Couple was with Nathan Lane and Matthew Bronkwith. That was the last time that the Odd Couple, at least to my knowledge, was played on off Broadway. As for the other Odd Couples, I am not rating it, because simple fact I didn't see it. I didn't see the Odd Couple the female version. I didn't see the African American Odd Couple, so I'm not gonna rate it. I have to see it to rate it, and it probably would be a new review, at least for me, because I really didn't even realize. I knew about the African version. I did not know it was a female version, so it'd be like pretty much a brand new experience for me if they made the necessary changes. But in any case, for the movies and for the TV series, yeah, go ahead and watch it. You don't have to watch the movie, because the movie pretty much stands on its own. And if you read some of the stuff here, they make it clear that the movie, you can't compare the movie to the TV series. The TV series did their own thing, and it was necessary for the TV series to do their own thing, and they did it well. And I think the movie here also did it well. So, have you seen the Odd Couple movie? Did you like it? Didn't like it? Let me know in the comment section below. Until then, J77 saying take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.